Hi, hi, hi. Welcome, welcome. All right, looks like everybody is in the room. So we'll go ahead and get started. I do see a new person. So, hi, I'm Courtney. I'm the education director here at Pregnancy Aid Clinic, and I will be on your journey with you through our parenting and educational curriculum. Last week, we started our summer semester, which is titled 10-10-10. It's a decision making tool, and you'll learn about it basically throughout our summer. The name comes from a book called 10-10-10, written by a woman named Susie Welch. So that is where the title 10-10-10 came from, and we're going to discuss all of what that entails. So let's start talking about making decisions. All right, let's see if this slide will now go forward. There we go. So, like I said at the beginning of the announcements, 10-10-10 is a tool used for making decisions in your life. When you think about your life, we make decisions all the time. So the basics are simple on 10-10-10. When you think about a decision, what are the consequences of your choice? What will happen in 10 minutes? What will happen in 10 weeks or 10 months? And what will happen in 10 years? So it doesn't have to be literal. It doesn't have to be 10 minutes, 10 weeks, 10 months, 10 years. What the tool is trying to teach you is to think short term, medium term, long term. What is this choice how is this choice going to affect me in my life? Okay. Once again, 10 minutes, 10 months, 10 weeks, 10 years. How is this decision going to affect me? So, when you are thinking about decisions, you are literally thinking about decisions all day long. Every day, you're thinking about decisions. Do I make pancakes or burgers for dinner? One, that decision determines, you have to think about that decision. Do you have the ingredients to make one or the other, right? Do you have the time to make one or the other? And then what are my taste buds feeling? I mean, breakfast for dessert makes me happy, but maybe other people are like, I don't do pancakes for dinner. I will be doing a burger, right? Another simple decision you might be facing. What shoes should I wear? With COVID, I know fashion isn't necessarily at the forefront anymore because people are just trying to take care of their families. But it could be as simple as, do I put on my tennis shoes or do I put on my flip-flops, right? Another simple decision, Coke or Pepsi. Y'all, I'm from the South, so there is only one true answer to that. But there are people in the world that really have to make a decision between Coke and Pepsi or sweet tea and lemonade. These are simple decisions that you're making. You're probably not even thinking about them. But on the other hand, there are difficult decisions. Do I stay in this relationship? That's a big one, right? You literally have to consider, does this relationship bring me joy? Does this relationship bring me down? Am I tied in a lease with this person? Do I like this person? So, you have some more difficult decisions that you have to make sometimes. Should I quit my job? Do I have a replacement job? Am I making enough money here? Do I need to go somewhere else to make more money? Do I like the people I work with? Do I feel heard by my boss? All these things are going through your head when you're trying to make a decision. Another difficult decision, should I move to another state? Do I have people there that I can stay with until I get on my feet? If I don't have people there, do I have an apartment lined up? Do I have a job lined up? What about my social life? What about who's going to take care of my kids? If I need a daycare or if I need a babysitter, You have to literally think about all these decisions and all these aspects of decisions in order to move forward. So this is why Susie Welch came up with her decision-making tool. All right, let's see. So, some decisions involve personal choices and lifestyle. Some involve moral right and wrong. Even when you know what's right, it can still be difficult to make the decision. And then sometimes you don't know what's right. There is so much going on in your head when you're trying to make a decision. You know, it's so much easier. It's so helpful to have a tool right by you that can help see you through. Oh, and just FYI, you are going to need pen and paper towards the end. No rush, but just wanted to give you a heads up. You will need pen and paper for the entire summer. So go ahead and grab a little cheap notebook, and then that way you can do all your classes in that same notebook as opposed to having scraps of paper everywhere. Like one of these little binders. If we were in class, I would give you one, but we're here. So you will need pen and paper for the end of class. All right, so you see this quote, don't make a permanent decision for your temporary emotion. Some of you may have heard this quote said differently. Don't make a permanent decision with a temporary person as opposed to emotion person. And I mean, it's true. When you are thinking about decisions, you have to think about not just how you're feeling right now, but how you could be feeling later, or sometimes you have to take emotion out of it. Don't make a permanent decision for your temporary emotion. Moments when we are overwhelmed or stressed or upset are not the best time to make a permanent decision. Now, if your child is in danger, or if you or someone you know is in danger, you have to make a decision. You have to react in that moment. We're not talking about those kind of decisions. We're talking about decisions where you can breathe and take a moment to make a decision. It says, if possible, try waiting until you are calmer, whether it's a few hours later or a day, or shoot, even a few weeks, depending on the severity of the decision. If, for the example about should I get a new job, let's say you start interviewing and somebody calls you with a job offer. You don't have to accept or deny right then. You can say, oh my goodness, thank you so much. I'm going to need 24 hours. I'll get back to you tomorrow. Or thank you so much. It's Friday. I'm going to get back to you on Monday. You can take a step back in order to have the time and space you need to make a decision. Okay, so look at all these people coming in. Yes. So it helps to stop and think things through, even if we need to decide right away. So I'm going to be reading to you from the book so that you guys can learn a little bit more. I'm going to be talking about the how of 10-10-10. You ready? You're ready. Y'all, it's a little bit boring in the book, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm not gonna put on a bad accent. Y'all don't want that. But I will try and put some life into it. So the how of 10-10-10. There are no photos, so there won't be, back and forth. There's no photos. It says every 10-10-10 process starts with a question. That is, you basically start with posing your dilemma, crisis, or problem in the form of a query, a question. Should I quit my job? Should I buy the house with the great backyard and the leaky roof? Should I hold my son back a year in school? Should I stay in my relationship or end it? Some of the things I've already mentioned, right? It says having a defined question is essential to 10-10-10. because so many messy problems are intertwined with side issues and sub issues, distractions and discretions, red herrings. There's just a lot involved. So you want to have a defined question. And don't worry, you're going to practice later, hence why you're going to need pencil and paper. It says the most effective 10-10-10 always tend to start with determining exactly what is the issue underneath it all that you are trying to resolve. The next step is data collection. Eventually you'll get to the point where you're doing 10-10-10 in your head. But at the beginning, you want to start using paper so you can brainstorm all over the paper and brainstorm and put it all out. You can do it by yourself. You can do it with a friend, partner, boo thing. It's whatever works for you. So what you're writing after you have your question, you're going to basically then go, what are the consequences of each of my options? So let's pretend we're going to say, let's do something not so severe. So we're not going to say, do I leave this relationship? Let's say it's COVID time. Do I go to my friend's house who's having a party? So on this piece of paper, you're going to write down yes, and you're going to write down no under the question, do I go to this party? Under the yes side, you're going to say, what happens in 10 minutes? Oh, I get to see people that I love and care about. What happens in 10 weeks? If I catch COVID, I might still be recuperating. What happens in 10 years? In 10 years, I probably won't remember whether or not I went to the party. But if I catch COVID in 10 years, I could still have lingering effects of the disease. So that's the yes side. Yes, I go. The no side, no, I don't go. What happens in 10 minutes? Oh, I'm disappointed, that I didn't get to see my friends and family in person, but I got to Zoom them or talk to them via the phone or whatever. In 10 weeks after not going to the party, well, I'm still talking to my friends and family via Zoom or text or whatever, and I don't have COVID from not attending that party. In 10 years, that party really didn't make a difference because my friends and family are still in my life. We found a way around it. Does that kind of make sense? You literally are writing the question and then writing down the consequences to both answers. Don't worry, don't stress. You're going to have plenty of time this summer to practice it and think that through. I know it's a lot of information, but please don't fret, don't stress your pretty little heads. Let's see. It says the last step is analysis, which we've already talked about, how you're doing the yes questions, the no questions. And then you look at it and you say, well, if this happens in 10 minutes and this happens in 10 weeks, I think I would rather go with the decision that reduces my risk of catching COVID. So I'm not going to go. Or maybe in your decision making, you're like, I really miss my friends and family. I'm going to go. So you're posing the question, you're brainstorming the answers to both sides of the question. And then you're analyzing what decision works for you based off of this happens now, a little bit later, and further down the line. So that's basically how 10-10 works. And like I said, you're going to have plenty of practice. So I'm not going to go over all these slides word for word because we kind of just talked about it. But you're asking yourself a question. You're brainstorming the responses, and then you're going to analyze. So I have a story to read for you. Let me find the page. All right, so I'm going to read you a story about Lynn Scott Jackson. I'm not going to lie to you, it's a little boring, but just stick in here. You're getting diapers and wipes from it, so just stick in there, okay? All right. A dream of a life. I met Lynn Scott Jackson, a marketing expert with 20 years of experience in the corporate world, after she had found herself in a position to do just that. Lynn's dilemma had erupted shortly after she launched her own public relations firm, focused on the African American market. My dream was to build something very special, she told me, a successful venture run by a working mother who was the descendant of slaves. But a week before Lynn was due to travel to Johannesburg in South Africa to work on a consulting project for her first major client, both of her parents fell ill. Neither one was life-threatening. However, there were a lot of tearful phone calls, each one ending with Lynn's parents begging her to come to Virginia and stay with them while they got better. Immediately, Lynn's instinct took over. Don't leave, her gut told her. Take care of your family. That's the right thing to do. So since Lynn was already practicing 10-10-10 in her life previously, she immediately jumped into doing 10-10-10 to figure out, do I go to this client in South Africa or do I stay in Virginia and help my family? So in 10 minutes, she knew one thing for sure. Canceling the trip would quiet her guilt. On the other hand, Lynn anticipated that canceling the trip would also let loose deeper feelings of panic and dread. Would her new client allow her to postpone everything? She doubted it. And even if they did, she feared making a bad first impression. Lynn then moved on to an assessment of her life situation in 10 months. Her parents would likely be settled back into their normal routine. But if she did not go to South Africa, her company would probably still be struggling. It had taken her nearly a year to land the South African account, and it would take months to be able to find another. 10 years out, now she's starting to think about 10 years out. 10 years out, however, the lay of the land shifted. Sadly, Lynn acknowledged her father might be gone, but her mother, younger and in better health, would probably still be living. Health problems were sure to crop up now and again with increasing seriousness. This is what happens when your parents age. Would she keep flying to Virginia every time something went wrong? Even if such a step assuaged her guilt in the present, Lynn reasoned it would undoubtedly deny her the opportunity to ever establish a successful enterprise. And what about the 10-year scenario if she did not cancel the trip? Lynn pictured herself running a company with perhaps 20 or 30 employees, the fulfillment of a lifelong dream, and an achievement she believed worthy of her ancestors' sacrifices. Y'all heard I said worthy? Those are of y'all that are new. Worthy is very important to me. The next day, Lynn flew to Virginia, not to stay, but to arrange the ongoing services of a nurse for her parents. Her consideration of the 3 time frames had opened her eyes to a solution she hadn't been able to visualize in the heightened emotional state. She also called her brother in California, long absent from caregiving responsibilities in the family because of his military service overseas, and she asked for his help. I know how hard it is to ask for help, y'all. This woman finally did it. People were like, oh, he's overseas. He's now in the United States. He needs to step up so that all the burden was not on Lynn. He quickly agreed to come to Virginia the following week to help. And then Lynn left for Johannesburg as planned. By imagining how I would feel in the future and how I wanted to feel, the crisis ended up changing my relationship with my parents for the better. It says, It's so much healthier now. It forced me to set up a sustainable system to care for my parents. It made me get on the phone and bring my brother into the equation. 10, 10, 10 helped me to get over myself. So now here we are, and it says, Len's business continues to grow today and has led to a secondary career as a professor of communications at a college in New York City. Without using 10, 10, 10 to tackle my dilemma, she says, I might even be living in Virginia on call with a life that I never wanted. Instead, Len is now making a life that she chose. So that is Miss Lynn Scott Jackson and how she used 10, 10, 10 to decide, do I halt my life and go take care of my parents? Or do I start this company and basically set my life the way I wanted it? And of course, it might not be so clear cut for you guys. Maybe you don't have the finances to be able to bring in a visiting nurse. Maybe you don't have siblings that can come in and help shape take the burden. But that's the greatness of 10, 10, 10. It helps you make a decision based off of where you are in your life, what resources you have. And so that's basically how it works. So let me check the chat box right quick. I see. Okay, yes. Okay, I got some cosigns. Okay, I got some cosigns. Awesome. All right, let's move on to the next slide. All right, so step one, basically, I'm putting it out there so you can see. Some people like taking notes. Some people are visual learners. Some people are auditory learners. So we're going to put all this out here for people to learn. And once again, this is being recorded. So if you miss anything, it'll be on YouTube in a few weeks so you can rewatch it. But I hope you have your pen and paper. You don't have to take notes. I was going to say there's not going to be homework. There may be some homework, but it's not like a worksheet that you're going to have to hand in to be graded. It's more of personal reflections, if any homework, okay? All right, so, okay. Somebody said that they can't see the chat. That's because people are emailing me privately. So if you guys want to have a conversation as a whole, just change it from directly to me privately to everyone. That way you guys can chat amongst yourselves. I do have a comment on here. I've heard about 10, 10, 10. It's very helpful. So yay, awesome. I'm so glad. So step one of 10, 10, 10. Start by asking yourself a question about your dilemma and write it down. Your next portion of step one is to write down the answer to your question. So earlier when I said, do I go to my family's party? Write down yes, write down no, and then you're going to answer step two. Ask yourself how you will feel about this answer in 10 minutes, 10 weeks, or 10 months, and then 10 years. And once again, it doesn't have to be literal. It could be, how am I going to feel about this today? How am I going to feel about this next month? How am I going to feel about this next year? It's literally just a right now, in a little bit, and then in a far bit. Okay, so it doesn't have to be literal, but 10, 10, 10 is, it catches the attention, right? All right, let's go to the next slide. For anybody that came in after I had made announcements, for attendance, I need your first name, last name, and email address. And that's how we track attendance in our new online. And then I send an email for everybody that participates. I send an email the next day after class to ask about diaper sizes and talk about pickup dates and times. So attendance in the chat box, and then you will get an email tomorrow, okay? All right, so step three. So step one, writing down question. Step one, part two, write down the answers, yes or no, up or down, whatever your answers are. Step 3, that's when you basically brainstorm. So for yes, okay, how does that affect me in 10 minutes? How does that affect me in 10 months? How does that affect me in 10 years? And then you brainstorm on the other end. If the answer is no, how does that affect me in 10 minutes? How does that affect me in 10 months? How does that affect me in 10 years? It is very repetitive. And once again, the more you do it, the easier it will be to do it. And then step 4, analyze your choice. So you've got this piece of paper in front of you. You have the yes brainstorm. You have the no brainstorm. You look at it and you're like, which one works best for me and my situation? Which one speaks to me more? Which one has the least amount of consequences? However you determine, that's what you're doing when you're looking at these brainstorms. And it says, which decision will help you create the life that you want in the long run? I love that. Which decision will help you create the life that you want? All right, let's see. All right, so this all came from this book, 10-10-10 by Susie Welch. There's different covers. Some covers have her looking like that. Some covers have her in a business suit, in a chair, but it's called 10-10-10. You are not required to purchase this book, but some people like to have it, so I'm giving you the information. And I'm sure you can find a used copy on Amazon if you in fact want it, but you are not required to get this book, okay? So paper and pencil time. Let's do a little bit of work. So these questions that we're going to talk about today and for the rest of the summer were taken from 10-10-10 and created into a curriculum for you. One of Miss Susie Welch's quotes reads, with values as an integral part of the quick and effective device for surfacing decision alternatives. That is an awful, I'm so sorry, y'all, that was awful. 10-10-10, wow, this was a copy paste from another PowerPoint. Clearly, I should have edited it because, yeah, 10-10-10 is a powerful strategy to construct an authentic life in sync with our true priorities, dreams, hopes, and beliefs. So these are called value excavations that we're going over. There's an actual handout when you're in class that you fill out, and then you start adding to your notebook. But once again, we don't have that life right now. So if you have a notebook, if you have a piece of paper, you'll just start writing into it and adding on to it as the summer goes on. So let's do question number 1. Now, as you see, it says take your time and think about your answers. However you write it in the notes is fine. This is for you, not for me. I'm not going to ask you to turn anything in. I'm not going to say, hold this up to the camera or send me a picture. This is for you. But if you're going to do it, then actually do it. Take the time, put your energy into it, okay? So question number 1. What would make me cry from regret at my 70th birthday? What would make me cry from regret at my 70th birthday? So I'm gonna give you a few minutes to fill that out. What would make me cry from regret at my 70th birthday? Would you cry from regret because you didn't get those Jordans back in the day? Would you cry from regret because you didn't get that one job you really wanted? Would you cry from regret because you don't have any friends and family surrounding you? Like, seriously, what would make you cry from regret? Not marrying that person, not going to that amusement park. You know, this is a personal thing. I have one person that says, not trying all the things I wanted to because I was scared of failure. Ooh, ain't that the truth? Y'all are welcome to put it in the chat box and send it to me. Apparently there's some error and it won't let it just send to everybody. That's fine. You can send it to me and I can read it out loud. I will not read your name because once again, this is a private thing. But yeah, being scared of failure. Look, I was scared of failure in my first 30, 36, 37 years of life. And now I'm realizing, for me, it's not a fear of failure anymore. It's a fear of success. Like, what happens if I am successful? How terrifying is that, you know? Let's see. Somebody wrote, missing my friends and family, my health. Somebody wrote being alone because I was such an awful person. Yeah, all these things are valid, y'all. It's so interesting. Social media makes it seem like everybody has these happy and healthy lives, perfect lives. And when in the reality, most of us are behind that screen, depressed or upset or, you know, like, but we're not going to get on my social media soapbox today. All right. So question number two. What do I want people to say about me when I am not in the room? You want them to say what a great dresser you are or how stylish you are. You want them to say how smart you are, how beautiful you are. Do you want them to say what a good person you are? You want people to say that you're rude and disrespectful and they don't like you. What do you want people to say about you when you are not in the room? And once again, you are welcome to put it in the chat box. I do see somebody that raised their hand. If you would like to that one person, I can unmute you if you would like to verbally say it. Let me find you. All right, so I'm going to unmute you to that one person. Ooh, hold on, where'd you go? Where'd you go? There you go. All right, so the person that raised their hand, I have clicked unmute if you want to verbally say it. If it was an accident, that's fine too. But what do I want people to say about me when I am not in the room? Okay, we've got we've got some responses. Okay. Let's see, that I am a great person, that I have a big heart that has room for anybody. I want people to say what a blessing I've been in their lives. Yes. I want people to say that she helps others and she is a great mother. I want people to say that I am a humble and honest person. Yes, y'all, I love it. And by the way, there's no right or wrong answer. This is just to get you to start thinking about your values and what's important to you. Yes, I love it. All right. And the last question today for the values excavation is, what did I love about my upbringing? And conversely, what did I hate? If you were on the call with Miss Naya Abernathy last week, she talked about how, you know, yeah, we may have had childhoods that we didn't like, but we now get to change it for our kids. So what did you love about your childhood? And what did you not like? What do you want to do differently for your kids? What do you want to do differently for your relationships? And once again, this is for you. If you want to share, great. If you don't, that's okay too. What this summer is trying to hopefully impart, by the end of the summer, we want you to be able to know what you value as a person, what's important to you, and for you to know what your goals are so that every decision you make can get you closer to those goals. Okay? It says, I've got somebody on here, it reads, I loved being a child, and my parents and stepmom showed so much love and care, and I hated getting in trouble. Ooh, y'all. Let's see. I love that I became strong, but I have lacking the freedom of expression. Once again, if you were on with nine,
Mother.
I'm sorry, yes?
Hey, Miss Courtney.
Hi, love. Did you have a comment?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I love being a mom.
Yes.
And what I want to make different is the lifestyle I had lived when I was a childhood. So that's what I don't want for my daughter.
Yes, I love that. Everything can be a learning experience. Yes. I'm so glad y'all are here. Y'all know y'all make me smile. Y'all know y'all make me happy. All right, I'm gonna put you on mute again, my love.
Okay.
Let's see. I loved learning about my culture, but hated the abuse from others that felt I was different. Yeah, yeah. I loved the loving mother that I had who was always there for me. I hated being alone on holidays because our family was small and everyone worked. Yeah. My parents raised me with fear and wisdom of God. I love that my parents weren't wealthy and I had to work for everything I have. I had my first job at 15 and I'm 23 buying a house now. Ooh, it definitely paid off. What I hated about it was I worked rather than enjoying being a teenager, but I'm a mom of two. So what I want different for my kids is generational wealth. Y'all, this is awesome. This is awesome because clearly, I mean, y'all were quick to write in your responses. So clearly, this is something you guys have already been thinking about, what your goals are, what kind of parent you want to be, what you want to do differently than your childhood. This is fantastic. That's what we want. That is exactly what we want. All right, so that was the last slide. The values excavation, 9 times out of 10 is always going to be the last thing that we do for class. So next week, I don't have a schedule in front of me. I can't tell you what we're doing next week. But Thursday's class is the exact same class as this one. So once again, you don't need to attend, but you can tell your friends and family. If you want to attend, you can, but it's the exact same class, exact same PowerPoint. It says, I've got another comment. They raised me with good education, and I completed, I'm assuming a B-Tech is a bachelor's in technology. I'm not really sure, but this person loved that they were raised with good education. So I love this, y'all. Y'all are sharing and y'all are thinking about your lives and what you want. But basically, today's class was talking about how to even do 10, 10, 10. So over the rest of the summer, we're going to do 10, 10, 10 pretty much every single class. So by the end, y'all going to be like, I'm sick of Miss Courtney talking about some 10, 10, 10. But I promise this is for us to hopefully help you to better your lives. So that is the end of class for those that are my first timers, my newcomers. Look, I love y'all. Whether I've met you or whether I haven't, I love y'all. And I want you to always know how important and how special you are. You will find that I always end class by telling you that you're worthy. A lot of people have never heard this, have never heard that they have worth and that they matter. So if you don't get it anywhere else, you're going to get it here with me. So that is the end of class. I love you. You are worthy, and I will see you next time. I will send out an email tomorrow. That's why I needed everybody's email addresses in here. I will send out an email tomorrow talking about diapers and whatnot. So love you. You're worthy, and I will talk to you later. Bye.